Dopple Avenue Hurt. Starring Robert Lamb, Jose Caraballo, Kyle Appleyard. Featuring James Keys, Edith Dietrich, Arthur Phelps, Bobby Moynihan, Will Ferrell, with musical guests Julia W.D. Harrison and Sting, and your host, Jonathan Maas. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Maas.
Thank you very much. I'm your host, Jonathan Maas. I am the editor of Dopple Avenue, and I personally would like to welcome you to the Dopple Avenue Hurt Season 2 wrap-up show with the cast and creators of said show, Dopple Avenue Hurt. Joining me in studio is writer of Dopple Avenue Hurt, Robert M. Lamb.
How's it going?
How you doing, man?
Not bad.
Okay. Joining him, you know him as Paul Wendt. We know him as Jose Caraballo.
Exactly like that.
Is this my cue? Is this when I jump in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also known as JJ.
yeah.
Hi, JJ.
I know you wanted to get that in there.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, we know him as Kyle Appleyard. You know him as James Keys. Hi, Kyle.
What's up, sluts?
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. So we got last year. We went through the entire season, and we did this little silly casting creator show on a whim. And it seems like we've done a lot of interviews on a lot of different podcasts, and we got some feedback. It seems like the casting creator show from season 1 was like the most impressive.
Yeah.
With everybody, like, don't mind all those hundreds and upon thousands of man hours that we went doing voiceover and editing and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
They loved the casting creator show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He put it, no, JJ
Oh.
put it in air quotes because
Air quotes? What are those?
those are those things.
Why'd you move your
thing
fingers like that?
Yeah. Why'd
Why'd you scrunch your
What are
fingers?
those? I'm doing air quotes.
Those are called air quotes.
Are these supposed to work right now?
What? Yeah. It's not working right now.
Your headphones?
There's a volume.
I'll fix it
There's a
when-
volume
It matters.
thing.
Yeah, it's right here.
Am I like the master of not turning stuff on right now?
Maybe.
Probably.
Apparently.
Oh, look at that. Now
There
it
you
works.
go. Works now.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. He couldn't hear
Let's
anything
pop some
before.
champagne because it worked.
Yeah.
We're gonna pop some
Is that
champagne.
gonna like burst?
No, it wasn't so bad. The last one did.
Yeah, last one popped.
So we're popping champagne because obviously there's another season in the books.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah,
Mission accomplished.
Good job. Great job.
Yeah. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. Hey, where's ours?
I
I don't know. Where's your cups? You brought the cups
None of
in.
us grabbed cups. Just Kyle's the only one drinking champagne.
Hey, I'm doing classy over here.
Let's just pass around the bottle and take swigs.
Fuck it.
No,
you're
I'm not
sick.
doing that. I'm sick.
Well,
JJ.
then you just go last.
You guys do that. Yeah.
JJ,
I'll
go
take
get
the
some
last
flutes.
Still
swig.
time. I'll go get some flutes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, thus wraps up a whole new season of Dopple Avenue Hurt.
Another 12 episodes.
Another 12 episodes. Like I said before, I'm the editor, and I'm also the voice of Arthur Phelps. Among some other bullshit
Supporting
characters, I do Sheldrake, Von Wallen,
Donnie Lombardo.
Donnie Lombardo.
Yep.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm a man of 1,000 voices on Dopple.
Yeah.
You know, really where that comes from is I don't have the voices. Like somebody doesn't record them or somebody's not available, and I'm sitting in my studio in the afternoon, and everybody else is fucking working while I'm editing, and I'm like, well, fuck it. It's a bullshit character.
Yeah.
That's
Just
really where
record real quick.
that's really where that comes from.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of side characters, so
There were so many.
yeah, there's a lot.
There were so many. I have to beg the question. Thank you very much, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
Passing around.
Kyle Appleyard.
Yeah.
Champagne for all.
Keenan Thompson.
Kenan Thompson. So,
Gilda Rat.
so this year we approached the wrap-up show a little bit differently.
Thanks.
We knew, yes, please. We knew we were going to do a cast and creator show like last year, but we wanted to open up questions to the fans because, I mean, they don't really have a whole lot of direct access to us. And I'm not saying we're hard to reach people or anything. We're not anything of that nature, but we wanted to give you guys, as the fans, an opportunity to reach out and ask questions to us. I had an overwhelming response for you, Robert.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
I did.
He's the writer. That makes sense.
Everybody wants to.
Here's
Good stuff.
Here's the
hopefully.
number one question I got.
Oh, God.
For Robert M. Lamb.
I'm scared.
Where the fuck was Edith Dietrich?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A lot of people were wondering, like, why she wasn't in season 2 that much, but it's kind of like I outline the stories like before I start writing them, and I outline each episode before I start writing each episode. It's just I can't force anything, and forcing her into parts of the story just didn't seem like they were going to be plausible. So it's just like one of those things where I tried to fit her in when I could, but they just didn't have.
Because you promised on the last wrap-up show that you'd write her in more.
I was going to
And
try.
you didn't deliver.
Listen, she got her own BHS, Brentwood Heights stories, and she's going to be more in season 3. I've already been writing season 3, so she's got more to do in that one.
So
But-
basically, get off my ass. Huh?
Yeah, so back off.
Back the fuck off. Then.
She's still there, okay? She's not dead. No, it was more of like, it's just like story-wise. I mean, I wanted to really concentrate on story this time because I felt like season 1, I was really like kind of just winging it as I went.
Well, you're introducing characters.
Yeah.
And backstories and stuff.
And like it still had a story and stuff, and I still liked the story of season 1, but it wasn't as intricate as season 2, like at all. Like I felt season 2 was a lot bigger in scope and a lot like there were days where I was like, just where do I go from here? Like how do I connect these two dots? Like it was a lot harder to write.
Well, and that does come through because I had probably read 90% of the story before I even started editing. And you could tell that it was a lot more in depth, far beyond episode or season 1.
Yeah.
And that's very evident in the writing. Hey, cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Hey,
Cheers.
fans, crack.
As he's
If you're
taking
listening
a
to this,
picture
crack
right
some
now.
champagne and toast with us.
Yeah.
Well, you Snapchatting. Just shows you how old you are, Robert.
Whatever.
Why don't you get with the times? It's called Snapchat. All the kids are using it.
Yeah,
Coming from
Snapchat
you.
just became popular now.
Yeah.
Wait.
It was popular before,
It's
but it wasn't as popular.
At
Like
the time
everybody's
of this
using
podcast,
it now.
when you're listening to this podcast, that's when Snapchat got huge.
Right now, it's
Yeah.
because of the Snapchat
Cultural phenomenon.
JJ just
Thanks
took.
to Dopple Avenue Heart season 2.
You're welcome, Snapchat users.
Yeah.
Some other questions that came through. I guess this could be for everybody. What were some of the things that you had to prepare for, knowing that you had to go into season 2? Was there added pressure to outdo yourself from season 1?
Not necessarily, but I had to keep up the voice of Paul, which every single time I went into a recording, I had to keep listening to my voice because I kept forgetting how to do it. And so Jonathan he'd be like, "You're not Paul enough right now. I need more Paul." And I'm like, "I'm trying to be as sexist as I can."
Yeah,
What was different about season 2 is that you did a lot of your recording sessions with me instead of here at Shark Dropper Studios.
That's right. Exclusively. I don't think I did any season 2 recordings with
Really?
Robert in the
Wow.
studio.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
not this year.
Yeah, and I thought that you and I really built a good working relationship through those sessions because I don't know if you've felt it, but I felt like I got a lot better performances out of you, and like I coached you through stuff.
Oh, absolutely. When I didn't think I did a really good job until I listened to season 2. And I'm like, wow, I remember that being like, oh my God, this is going to come out so shitty. Like, people are not going to believe. And then I was like, oh, well, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Did you have to? I know that you like when like before we started our sessions, like you had me go through like old episodes and stuff like from season 1.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, okay, just give me what does Paul sound like? What does Paul sound like? And then you had to like hit it it took you like a 5 count, but like you just had to hear it for a second.
Yeah. So that was really it for me. What about you guys?
Kyle, did you prepare for?
What was the question?
Did you have to do anything to like get you into the role, and did you feel like added pressure?
I would take all of my clothes off and then hang them on a hook somewhere.
That new hook
and
we
then
got in the
vigorously masturbate.
Yeah.
Until I found
During your takes, right?
During my takes, yeah. Those were all hard cocked takes.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, Pixar didn't happen.
Yeah, it was crazy.
If you want, you can check out the Snapchat.
Yeah, follow us on Snapchat. What did I do to prepare? Basically, I just listened to myself season 1 and sort of I think you're always improving and you're always learning. That's why I typically we host so many podcasts on this network. So I always like to try to go back and listen to myself and see what it is that I can improve upon. So that's basically what I do to prepare. I listen to myself. I say, I didn't like that. I did like when I did that. I didn't like that. Mostly this year, I found that I got my best performances when I was just when I was just feeling the role. It took me 5 or 10 minutes into a recording session before I really felt comfortable with recording, and I really felt like I
could tell
in the story, and I really felt like I was reading the story as it was going. So like, when you're reading a book and you're reading like a really good book and the pages just turn themselves, you're just going on and on and on. Once I got to that point in the script, like I felt like I was more reading the narrative than doing lines. That's when things got better for me personally.
And nobody really reads the scripts until they're right about to record.
Right.
Like nobody usually I'll leave the scripts out for Kyle to record and stuff, but it's not like you're taking days ahead of time. Like you're kind of just going in the studio, reading over it, kind of getting into character and stuff.
Yeah, I think I know like Kyle kind of glanced through them, but I think like I was the only person just
that
because
that
went through them like months and months in advance.
Yeah,
before touching it.
Yeah, that's like one of the things when I went into the studio, because I read the lines for the very first time as I was recording them.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't even read through them, and we'd have to stop so many times. We were just laughing. We were just laughing like so loud. Like,
Oh yeah, that happens a lot.
It's great.
Yeah, I like hearing sometimes like Kyle's takes, because it's just him in the studio alone, and just hearing or
Dude, this fucking year, I don't know what it was. Every time I'd come in the studio, there was a dog, and the dog kept barking, and it would just piss me the fuck off. And this fucking dog would just be barking. I'd be in the middle of like a monologue, huge monologue.
Yeah.
And it starts barking. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Because the difference between this year to last year is we're using a much more sophisticated microphone.
Yeah.
So it picks up every fucking thing. Like it picks up a plane
background
going
noises.
30,000 feet up in the air.
Yeah, it does pick up planes. In the
So
air.
Yeah.
so many frustrating recording sessions, and then most of it was recorded in the summertime. So just
hot.
so many hot, nasty, sweaty recordings. Oh god.
Oh yeah.
Did you feel, Kyle? Like added pressure because it was season 2, and you felt like you maybe had to bring the character bigger and better,
Oh yeah.
and harder?
Got to step your game up in season 2. I go back and listen to episode 1. I'm like, when can we redo this? Can we redo the voices soon?
Yeah, it's amazing. It feels. I'm not comparing us to Seinfeld or anything, but it's funny. When you go back and watch the first season of Seinfeld
any show. Yeah, it's always
what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
thing?
it always takes a while to find their footing and stuff, which I think season 2 really helped us out.
Well, so Robert, I have to ask you because the fans don't know this, but we do. You felt as you were writing season 2 that you felt it wasn't funny enough, and that you kept saying little comments like, yeah, I finished episode 8. I just I just hope it's funnier than season 1. That's all.
Well,
You were doubting yourself as you were going through it.
yeah, because going through it, I always wonder. I just wanted to make it as good, if not better, than season 1. So starting off, I was kind of yeah, it's all right. But my whole thing is, I'll write stuff and then I'll reread through it several times. Kind of fix up the script before I send it to you. But it's got to make me laugh, at least like me personally laugh, 3 or 4 good laughs throughout the script. And then if it does that, then I feel pretty confident in it. But there are some episodes where like I'm concentrating more on story than I am jokes, and I'm trying to kind of just fishtail jokes in there to kind of keep it going. I still felt like it was smooth throughout. It's just that like I was still always like self-conscious about it because I know not every episode's gonna be a gem. Like there's some episodes that are really good.
There were
and
some
then there's
gems
that's
this
not
season.
that great.
There were some. There's a lot of gems this season, though.
Yeah, I think
compared to
there
season
was.
1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, it's actually funny that you say that because at episode 8 is when I started to say, like, this is much funnier than season 1. Like, I was nonstop laughing, like, all the way through the episodes.
What was episode 8? Was it it wasn't the dinner party, was it?
No, that was 10.
Okay.
I know.
7 or
Access my
8 was
iPhone
like the library.
Yeah.
I don't remember the library scene was either 7 or 8 with the librarian that was going to kill them. There's just like some random stuff like
Read a book.
yeah.
That's great. I just overheard what you were saying. That's
Yeah.
great and all.
But you need to shut the fuck up.
8 was lying about George Lucas.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
that was the interview with
yeah.
That was when actually it was getting more into like the interview portion, which to me like started really late in the season. But
Right,
there was like a
because-
lot of stuff going on regardless. So
Well, because in season 1 you did your interview episode in 4 or 5.
yeah,
Like-
it was like really early.
Really early. Yeah.
And it took like actually 2 episodes. I think it was like 5 and 6. But you know, it was kind of different because the earlier episodes were kind of reestablishing where all the characters were. Like now in season 2, then you had like the Lorraine episode where Paul finds out she's cheating on him.
That was
Then you had the
fantastic.
guys' night out episode where it's just like that was just kind of like a fun episode to write.
It was just like one of those throwaway episodes.
Yeah,
where,
it
like,
has nothing to, I mean, the only thing it moves the story forward is like the very ending where he has to go on the run, which
Right.
actually moves him to Julianne Good, but it's like the whole episode itself was
Who played Timmy again?
that was Seth.
Oh, my God. The guy,
Is he going to listen to this?
Yeah, probably.
Oh.
Yeah. Dude, I know it's
Step
so
it up,
bad.
Seth.
No,
Step it up.
It's
What?
so bad, but I love it.
It's perfect.
I
Perfectly
imagined
bad.
it like
yeah, it's perfectly bad.
I imagined it like a Lauren Lapkus or like a Womp It Up kind of.
I mean, yeah, I
like a
think that
girl
would've
playing
been
a
cool.
boy kind of character where it's like he sounds like a 13-year-old boy kind of.
Yeah, I think that would have been
I don't
good.
know. Seth played it fine. I'm giving you a bunch of shit, Seth. for this, but-
Well, I remember because there has been some times during this season, even more this season than season 1, where we got a voice actor, and then I wasn't in the coaching sessions, and then when the voice came to me, I had to sit there and go, "This isn't going to work. It doesn't. It just doesn't work for the character or
Yeah.
whatever reason. The delivery wasn't on." And we had to sort of switch around characters. Jane being one of them. Jane was originally voiced by I can't even remember.
Jennifer Maas.
Yeah, and it just I'm not saying it was a bad performance. It was just not right for the character.
Yeah.
Because Jane is a very specific character. She's not really supposed to be sexy so much. So, I don't want to say Lang Parker, who
Voice the character.
who actually did end up voicing the character at the very end. I'm not saying like, oh, Lang's not sexy, blah blah blah. She just delivered the character the way that I heard it in my head.
It was more tomboyish, and that's kind of what she did, and that's
Right.
what you kind of told her. So
Right. Because there is something that will unfold about Jane
yeah,
at some point where that needed to be portrayed.
yeah, no, and that's what. Yeah, I think it worked for that. I like how JJ just showed me like his notes for like the Timmy, the thing that said like the quote, "I want to get drunk and do stuff that is fun."
Come on, Jimmy Jong. We want a party. Don't be a party shitter.
Yeah, Jimmy Jong, don't be an asshole.
Stop it.
I want to get drunk and do stuff that is great.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. I want to do great stuff too. Guys night. Guys night.
Please stop.
Guys night. Guys night. Guys night.
Well,
Or do stuff that is great.
The way he delivered that line was just it was perfect. I want to get drunk and do stuff that is great. It's like so dry. It's like this.
well, yeah. And
Hilarious.
going back to my original point, when I heard Seth do Timmy,
Yeah.
it was bad.
Yeah,
It was bad. But then the more I started like listening to it, I was like, no, this is going to work actually.
That's what, when I recorded him, I remember thinking, like, do it more kitty. Like, I was trying to, like, tell him to do it more kitty. And then he's just like, how about this? And he just did, like, that kind of voice. And I'm like, all right, well, let's keep going with that and just see how it turns out. And, like, he kept doing it. And then when he did do, like, that line and, like, some of the other lines that were just kind of really ridiculous, like, I was like, let's see how it turns out.
Charlotte Webb.
Yeah.
Is a freezer cold?
Freezing.
I'm gonna listen to that episode again.
I mean, it is bad, but it's, like, bad in a good way
It's
to me.
it's one of those situations where it's so bad it's good.
Starship Troopers?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's the Starship Troopers.
it's the Starship Troopers, the voiceover.
A voiceover, yeah.
So going back, Robert,
Yeah.
to the utmost original question, saying that like you felt like this added pressure and you're just like, oh, I just hope it's funnier than season 1.
Yeah.
Are you, now that it's over and you can look on it in hindsight, how do you feel?
No, I like it. I like how it turned out. And I like...
You think it's funnier than season 1?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it also has a better story than season 1 and better voice acting and better production quality and all that kind of stuff. Which makes it now even like, now I'm writing season 3 and I'm like, well, I hope this is as good as season 2.
Well,
We'll see what happens.
The look on Jonathan's face when he said better production quality.
So happy. Yeah. Yeah, I did that.
you're welcome.
That's me.
Well, and then that was another question that I got was, is there going to be a season 3? But
Yeah. I mean, we plan on doing it. It was more of like, we just wanted to see how season 2 did. And like, it's been getting like, that's the thing is like, we get emails like every so often of people saying they listen to Dopple Avenue Hurt and how they like it. And just like friends and family who listen to it say they like it. Download numbers are better. It's just like, it's cool. So like, we know like we want to keep doing it. It's just a lot of work. So obviously, you know, we'll probably do season 3. I'm already working on season 3, but it's like, it's still going to be a while before we come out with it. We're still just in the writing process now. Haven't even done any recordings for it. So,
right.
And hopefully it turns out just as good as season 2, because that's one of my worries when I'm writing it. Is like, that's at least as funny and story wise as good.
What if season 2 is just like the sophomore slump for you, and then like season 3 is just going to be like,
or what if season 2 is the highlight and then everything after is crap?
Well,
I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah.
and
I don't know. So far, I'm writing season 3, and I'm pretty happy with the first. I mean, I'm halfway done with season 3, and I'm happy with how it's turned out so far. So,
Okay. So for the fans, season 2 was based around. You had to have heard of the movie Sunset Boulevard. Not that we ripped it off or anything. We just used the same themes.
I mean, if you haven't heard of Sunset Boulevard, everybody knows the classic line, which is, "These pretzels
are making me thirsty."
You see, this is my life. It always will be. There's nothing else. Just us. And the cameras. And those wonderful people out there in the dark. All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
It's one of the best lines in cinema.
Which is funny because I didn't throw.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't throw that line in there, but I did throw. I'm ready for my close-up, Mister, and then whoever the director was.
BC Baxter.
Yeah. In the movie.
I mean, that's the line I was referring to. That's the classic line.
Yeah, I'm ready for my close-up.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So,
But that's like, I mean, essentially, that was like the overall theme of season 2 was that classic film noir directed by Billy Wilder, starring William Holden.
So it seems like that's kind of the direction that we're going now with Dopple Avenue Hurt, is sort of not spoofing, but borrowing themes from old.
I mean, we're essentially spoofing portions of
so I wonder what
film noir.
season 3. Can you give us a hint as to what you may be looking at?
It's a mixture of. This is what I've been saying so far. It's a mixture of North by Northwest, Maltese Falcon, and Casino Royale. A lot of Casino Royale. It's actually going to be a little bit more James Bondish, but not. It's still more film noirish, but there are some.
Will Felix Leiter make an
elements.
appearance?
Yeah, there is. There's a Felix Burner. And
Oh God.
yeah, but he's not like a main character. It's just kind of like a throwaway thing. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, there's going to be like some references to that. This one, I wanted more of I wanted kind of a different kind of storyline. So it's going to be more. it's going to be pretty expansive, kind of how season 2 was bigger than season 1, but it's also going to be a lot different than
Yeah, he
season 1 or
needs to
season
go
2.
places. He needs to see somewhere besides Brentwood Heights.
Yeah, that's another thing is I don't know if he's going to leave Brentwood Heights per se, but he's definitely visiting some new areas, and in season 3 he's going to there's going to be some new elements, kind of how the Paul-centric episode, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Oh, yeah.
That was a new element to
Yeah, we
season
haven't
2.
talked about any of those.
Yeah.
So, I mean, while we're on the subject, JJ, your character got his own episode.
It really like threw me off when I actually listened to it too, because that freaking music, man, that background, it's like so happy. I'm like, yeah, that's so Paul right there.
If I may, that music came about because there was a particular piece of music that I wanted to be used in season 1, and it never got used. But Jonathan found the music, and I think he ended up using it in one of the Brentwood Heights stories.
Yeah, Edith, one of Edith's.
Yeah, and that song is from Ren and Stimpy.
Fuck yeah.
So Jonathan, just being who he is, doesn't just download the song. He gets the whole soundtrack,
Yeah.
and it's just everything in that soundtrack is gold.
Well, what my inspiration behind all of that is I wanted to portray accurately what I felt was always in Paul's head at all times. And to me, like, life is just a cartoon to him. Would you agree? I mean,
Which made it hard.
because he's a kid. He's a kid.
Right.
He's the cutest character in the.
But that's what made it hard writing that episode, because when I wrote it, the first page of that script before I even really got into it was literally him just random thoughts. And I was like, this isn't going to work. Like, he has to be like, I'm going to my car, I'm going to get in my car and drive off and stuff like that. He has to be like Keys in that sense where it's making sense what he's doing, because I literally just wrote like thoughts, and it was just like, there's no story. Like, I can't go anywhere with it. So it can't be that random. So I just had him react randomly to other situations,
That
like
led him
seeing the
places.
bird. Yeah, that led him places, like finding like a bluebird and being like, I'm going to follow that.
I like to imagine that that's just how Paul does his job. Like, it just consistently leads him into being a police officer or back to Keys. Like, he's like following shit. It's like, oh, there's Keys.
Well, it's just
Right,
like, yeah,
right.
Yeah, like a ball. Oh, James, what's up?
Oh, hey,
Yeah,
Jimmy
he's-
Jong.
But that's essentially like, Paul isn't really a good cop. He's not a good cop. He just like kind of falls into
He's the bad
situations.
cop.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Good
Arthur's
cop,
the
bad
good
cop.
one? Really?
No. But Arthur, I think, is definitely like better, just smarter, I think, than Paul.
Oh,
Yeah.
What was the line in the finale where a ham sandwich and a pile of rocks are better cops than Paul and Arthur?
Sandwich.
Yeah,
Which is true.
Like, those guys got blown up.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Gary and
that was fucking
Sinise.
awesome.
Yeah. Like Gary and Sinise.
wrong wire.
Holy shit. Was not expecting that.
you weren't? No?
No.
No. It was
Fuck.
perfect. It was so perfect. Like,
Those
wrong
were
wire.
who was that? Those were the Lost at Home guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lost at Home podcast. We had
That
a lot of
was-
special guests.
That was Jer and I can't remember the other gentleman's name from Lost at Home, but those guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. No, they did good. I thought it was
Did an
good.
amazing job.
They first appeared in the Paul centric episode when like
Yeah,
Paul was
which-
like, don't talk to me, and like covering his ears and stuff.
Is that how they do it?
Yeah.
Through the years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say this. I feel bad for saying this. The Paul centric episode is my least favorite episode of season 2.
Is it really?
Really?
It is. I actually have a hard time listening to it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I did the voiceover.
That's what it is.
It
or
probably
something.
is.
I can't do it. I listened to it once, and then like I tried listening to it a second time, and I just skipped it. I just went right to the other ones. I couldn't do it.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that.
Because it's like you're critiquing yourself on a subliminal level.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You did a great job. I liked that episode.
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think of it. This is what Kyle has to deal with
On every
for the
episode.
whole fucking series.
Yeah.
It's good.
Kyle does a
stuff.
great job though.
Thank you.
Oh no, Kyle
Like,
stepped up
it's-
his fucking
it's
game.
so
big time.
smooth now. Like in the season 1, you could always tell that what he was trying to do, but now he's a smooth narrator.
Yeah, he's easier to find.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, Kyle, you sell the fucking series, man. Like,
Thank you.
Like the way that like James Keyes is now, like he's so relatable because he's kind of a fucking asshole, but he means well on every level, and he's smooth, but not as smooth as he wants to think that he is.
Right.
Yeah, he's not that great.
No,
he's not. He's just not that great.
I was about to say that he's just kind of the whole thing is just him just like trying to just do his job and just get on with life, and everybody else is the one that's like dragging him down.
Well, everybody makes it difficult for him.
Yeah.
But he somehow manages, despite all that.
Yeah.
And he's not really that great of a detective. He just kind of lucks into this shit.
I
like
even-
Deus Ex Machina or whatever you want to call it.
And I'm not gonna like talk too much about it, but there are some references in season 3 that kind of point out, like he even says, like, I'm not that great like, as a detective.
Yeah.
Like, but he's not bad. I mean, he's not bad overall. He always gets the job done, essentially.
I'd hire him
Yeah.
just for the shenanigans.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
But I always find it weird that since season 1 is when he starts realizing everybody's weird in the city. Like, everybody's just weird. He's the straight man to, like, everybody in the city.
Yeah, and honestly,
But those moments where he is the comic relief are just fantastic.
That's the true. Like, a lot of times it's when he's with, like, the girl that he likes or whoever.
That's true.
It's
yeah.
always, like, him with a girl, and he ends up being kind of the weird one.
That's right.
where that was very, very evident. Like, why I think it's so funny sometimes, like, is there's this huge dramatic scene happening, and then something that James Keyes like says to like break the tension is just so goddamn funny. And where that was very evident is when Julianne Good was giving her like exposition speech of like why she's going to blow the theater up.
Hollywood wants to throw me to the wayside. Fine, then I'll use other measures to become famous. There is no more Julianne Good, just the Mad Bomber. Which is a dumb name that I have your friends to thank for.
Look, again, it's just with the one friend, the other's an asshole.
Yeah, I picture them both standing up on a ledge. It's like this big dramatic moment, and she's laying it all out on the table, and he's like, "Okay, but can we just kind of get this straight? He's really not my friend."
Yeah.
I feel like you're
like it
getting this
matters.
wrong a lot. Yeah, like it matters. Like the bomb doesn't matter.
yeah,
Like,
at that point,
you call Arthur my friend. Fuck that.
Speaking about Arthur, though, like Arthur is one of those characters that in season 1 I hated. I did not like Arthur at all. But season 2, he was my favorite character because every time Arthur and Keyes was in a room, I laugh like so.
Yeah, I will say that something happened to Arthur in season 2
Yeah.
that made him so much more likable than season 1. Just
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Because I think it's just the writing, a little bit like he like Robert softened his edges a little bit in season 2, and you kind of got to know the man.
I think
I wanted him to be more of like a main character. Like in season 1 he was, but it was like also like he was also to me disposable. Like I could have gotten rid of him at any time.
right, and that's how I felt too.
Yeah, but then like season 2 came around, I'm like, you know what? Let's keep him around.
Let's
Like,
bring him into the circle.
Yeah, be him. Like he's that one guy that like Keyes doesn't get along with, but he's still part of like him, Arthur, Edith, and Paul. Like it's like them four.
Well, I
But
just
yeah, whenever I see those four together, it's like that scene in the Avengers when Mark Ruffalo shows up on the scooter. It's like, oh shit, everyone's here.
Yeah.
What I like about him the most is that he's always trying to win the approval of Jimmy Jong. He's like always trying to get that approval.
Is he, or is he just covering his ass?
I just don't know. Yeah.
It's kind of back and forth.
Like, one of my favorite lines is like right in the beginning. He's like, "Fuck you, Big Jimbo. We're friends."
Yeah,
It's
we're
just like-
friends now.
That just like made me crack up so much. Like, yeah, this is Arthur. Like, he's like, "We're friends. We're damn it."
But look, he catches them. He catches them in the final scene. That says friendship to me.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Like I thought that was very, very cool. Like
I gotcha.
it was like one of my favorite moments in the entire finale where it's like, don't worry. Your besties caught you.
Yeah,
Like that's
But
like
did he do it because he knew, like, okay, I'm gonna have one on him now?
maybe. But it was just it was a very endearing moment. And like when I was reading the lines for Arthur during that moment, it didn't come across. But like as I was editing it, I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. Like it comes full circle now. Like maybe Arthur really does like Jimmy Jong.
Yeah, it does really want to be friends with him.
Right.
Because before, like when it started off, it was, you essentially think because it's just to cover his ass, because
Right.
he knows he got caught cheating with Lorraine.
I actually never thought that.
Really?
I
Really?
from the beginning, it was just like I thought Arthur genuinely liked Jimmy Jong and wants his approval, and Key's just like, I really fucking like hate you. I don't want to be around you. That's what I got from it, at least.
Yeah, I mean, Arthur is essentially part. I remember, I think it was Jonathan saying that, like, for some reason, it seemed like Arthur got more of the funny lines this season than Paul did.
I did. And I was actually kind of concerned about it.
Really?
Not me.
Because it's like, in season 1, you admitted that Paul is just the guy that I give all the best lines to.
Yeah.
Arthur got way better lines, especially in the finale.
Yeah.
Like Arthur was so much more highlighted than Paul was in the finale.
Which was great, though, because, like you said,
Hey,
Arthur.
free pizza.
Yeah. Hey, guys, did you hear that? Free pizza.
The fucking pizza.
Dude, the emotional part right before that was like, my friend told me,
I'm so
how to
sorry.
empty how to get everybody out of a building.
Yeah.
That sounds lame.
Like, that guy sounds lame.
Paul forgets it. Is like, oh, pizza's here.
He's like, where's the pizza?
Yeah, seriously. It's your fucking plan.
Yeah. That was awesome. But that's what I was gonna say is in the finale when Arthur catches Keys. I think it was like him and Joey catch Keys or whatever.
Right.
And Paul is just sitting on the side, like not doing anything. Like he's like eating popcorn or something like
Yeah,
that.
he's just
on the
hanging out.
side. Like just. But I think that's Paul. Like that would
pretty
be
much.
Paul. Is like not really doing too much.
Paul's the cop that just like he sees a gang fight, he just waits for the last guy to get shot. He's like, you're under arrest.
With the music going.
I do want to say my favorite part of the finale, though, and like speaking of like Keys not being like the best detective, I think the fact when he does the gun thing with his hand actually shows that he's like pretty cunning, but it works in this like situation of how this whole city's just ridiculous. Like everybody in
the
this
scene
city.
was so ridiculous, and then like, they're like, oh shit, that sounds scary. Like,
What kind of gun does he have?
Yeah, essentially,
I think he
it's a
almost
scene,
got me.
There's a scene where like Keys realizes he doesn't have his gun, and like these guys are shooting at him. So instead, he's like, "I'm going to try to use my finger as like a gun." So he just like aims around the corner with his hand and just starts going like bang, 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 bang. But like Kyle like goes really into like. Brrr, bang, choo.
I came up with a plan. Hopefully, it would work. I pointed my finger like a gun and aimed it around the canisters. Bang! 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 Maybe, just maybe they would believe I had a gun. Bang! 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 Bang!
What the hell kind of gun does he have?
I don't know. I can't see it. It sounds super dangerous.
Yeah, way worse than our guns.
Bang! 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 Boom! Bang! 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 Bang!
Oh shit, I think you almost got me.
Let's get out.
Yeah,
It was cool. I got to pull out all the childhood like gun sounds.
And
that was awesome.
that brings me to a good point. The guys from Worst Idea of All Time podcast. If you've never heard of it, please go follow them. It's called the Worst Idea of All Time podcast. And no, it wasn't Tim. It was Guy. Yeah, it was Guy.
Tim was the other one. I mean, they both voice characters.
They both voiced characters, but it was both very like. It was so funny. Like they were just perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys live in New Zealand, and they voiced Hugh Tarlov.
Yeah,
which is like the big
psychiatrist.
final fight.
Right.
I thought Guy did great.
Yeah.
I like that moment where he goes, "Oh shit! I think he almost got me."
Yeah, with the gun. Yeah.
Yeah, like how? Why do you think he almost got you?
Yeah.
You would fucking know.
Like, are you serious? But sorry, Guy, if you're listening to this, but Tim fucking hit a home run
As the stock boy?
As the stock
Yes,
boy.
that was my favorite guest character of the whole season.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. Like,
That was awesome. The crazy stock boy that helps Keys track down.
Oh yeah, I got him. Like,
Yeah.
he's fucking-
I got him. You want me to kill him? No. No. I do not want you to do that.
He fucking kills him.
the line that got me was like, "Is it a big pink dildo?"
Can I help you find something?
No, I don't think you can help me find what I'm looking for.
Why?
It's hard to find.
Is it a big pink dildo?
No, Jesus, no. Why was that your first guess?
Well, we get a lot of lone dudes coming in here at 2 in the morning looking for big pink dildos.
That's interesting.
Sadly, we don't carry those. We only carry big blue ones.
Which we met them at Podfest, and I remember going up to them and saying like, "Hey," because we only emailed them about the scripts. They sent us the voice recordings, and then we put them in. But when we saw them at Podfest in September, I went up to them. I was like, "Hey, I'm Robert from Shark Dropper. I'm the one who emailed you for Dopple and Her." He's like, "Oh yeah, like that's awesome. Like we listened to them and we thought they were really funny. We were glad did the voices work out and everything." I was like, "Yeah, they worked out really well. Like thanks for doing it." I kind of felt weird that like once I sent you that first script, like your second line is it a big pink dildo? Like I'm just like that's kind of weird.
But what was like almost like extremely gratifying for me was like when you like were apologizing, like, "Hey, sorry," and they were like, no. It was like very, very funny. And it's like, these guys like have like one of the most downloaded podcasts.
Oh yeah, it's pretty
ever
podcast,
right now. And they're reading our script saying, "No, that was hilarious. We were laughing out loud." And then the fact that they even like agreed to do it, like it was just.
That's why like when they got back to like because I emailed them, I actually Facebook messaged them I think, and like they got back to me. It took them a while, but then they were like, "Sorry for taking so long." I'm like, "No problem at all."
Yeah, those guys
and
are
they
just
ended up doing it. They're like really cool,
real menches, man.
Yeah.
Real menches.
Yeah, good guys.
And I mean, so those guys we had Lost at Home podcast guys. We had Lang Parker, comedian Lang Parker.
A lot of guests.
Mallory.
Yeah, Mallory, a fan of ours. She's a fan of ever since season 1, the first like couple episodes.
Yeah, she's like our original OG fan of the Shark Dropper Network.
And I just asked her, I'm like, "Do you want to be a character?" And she said, "Yeah."
She killed it.
Yeah, she played Bethany.
Yeah,
the Irish girl to Paul.
She did. She did very good.
Yeah,
she did very good. And I gave her accreditation at the end of the finale, and I said, "Look, Mallory is one of those few voiceover actors that I get to work with. No offense to anybody else, that really understands their character.
Yeah, and
she goes off script a lot, but it works.
Yeah,
like she understands. Like she's supposed to be like this motherly character and motherly figure, and most of the lines I used for Mallory's character Bethany was completely unscripted.
Yeah.
I mean that's how well she understands the character.
Yeah, she really got into it and stuff. And then she was in the finale, and then we'll probably bring her back for season 3.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I think she's got a little bit of a bigger role in season 3.
Yeah.
So it leads me to my next question. This one's actually from Mallory herself. Hi, Mallory. Again, good job, great job.
Hi, Mallory.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh yeah, see that's your boyfriend right there.
Yeah,
the Amish.
She
doesn't like Nintendo.
Oh yeah, you guys bang.
Do we totally bang?
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever banged, and you know what? And that's very upsetting because I totally wanted to bang her.
You flash your penis at her, and then she's like, "Put that away," and then she flashes her cooch to you or whatever.
Which to me is kind of like that's kind of gross. Yeah. Just imagining that. Like, I don't care if you're fucking Jennifer Lawrence or whoever. It's like I'd be like, I'd be off put by that.
I think Keith had a little bit of a gay moment in the end there.
Did he?
With him?
When Julia's charm didn't work on anybody. I mean, it worked on everybody except Keys.
Yeah.
Like my charm works on everybody except you, and it's like, and you kind of just like brushed it off, and I'm like, is that like a little bit of a gay moment for James Keys? You know,
maybe him and Arthur at the end will be like
coming out of the closet.
Yeah, they'll get together. He does have like a run-in with the monkey, and that kind of.
Oh yeah, he loves the monkey.
Kind of, yeah.
That was a great scene.
So you have like a lot of upper body strength now.
Yeah.
So the question from Mallory, and you can follow Mallory on Twitter at Podcastitute, and that's podcast itute.
Beautiful name.
Yeah.
She's also one of two hosts on the Heels and Headshots podcast. I strongly recommend it. Very funny. It's basically two girls talking about what guys do when they're alone in a room. She wants to know, I want to know who all recorded in just their undies.
If I could, I wish I could have.
I think I admitted this on a Shark Dropper, but I certainly haven't admitted it on the actual Dopple feed. But there's a good 3-4 episodes totally nude. Not gonna lie.
That was at your house, though. Right?
That was in my. I had a studio.
No, it was with me, actually.
That was back in my when I had the studio apartment in downtown. I had to turn off the air conditioner because it was a studio, so I had to record without the air conditioner on. So we usually do production in spring, summer, and we're in Florida, so it gets hot.
It gets really hot.
So, yep, gotta get naked. And I will admit too, in this studio, not naked, but I have had my shirt off in here.
Really?
Like, yeah, just been in the gym shorts recording.
Isn't that strange to like? Not for Kyle, but for the rest of us hearing and the fans, like, there's probably a good chance that James Keys was naked.
No, it was only for maybe 2 or 3 episodes between season 1. None of them in season 2, so fear not.
Oh,
listeners.
I know for a fact that JJ did not. Otherwise, I would have smacked him.
Yeah, there were a couple moments. We had a couple moments,
little game moments,
where we wanted to. Take our clothes off.
Yeah, that wasn't related to anything Dopple.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Mike swore not.
That was just questions. Yeah, just kind of experimenting at that point.
More often than not, I don't record in undies, but I record in nothing but just like my sleeping shorts, which are just like basketball shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of undies.
I don't think I voiced.
Very many of those of them are recorded like that. For season 2, especially.
I didn't voice any characters this season.
Yes, you did. You did. Joey Everknuckle.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite
Yes.
additions. Who are you?
Joey Everknuckle.
Okay, I'm gonna leave now.
Well, he was only in like 2 episodes and only had a few lines.
You guys, I gotta take everybody to my Publix at downtown. It is Joey Everknuckle, and when I point him out to you, you'll say, "Oh yes, that is him." Like I every time I see him, his name is Joey Everknuckle to me. Like I swear to you.
That's pretty funny.
Hi, I'm Joey Everknuckle.
I'm Joey Everknuckle. He like always has to say his name.
It's so perfect. I wish I could. I need to like on the low take a picture of him and like send it to you guys.
I have to say he's slowly becoming a fan favorite. Like whenever, because he has his own intro music. Boom boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, he first gets introduced in Brentwood Heights Stories,
right?
The Edith one,
right? And he's a big mover of the story. He's in all 3 episodes, but like. He's so ridiculously stupid.
Yeah. He like brags a lot.
He's very narcissistic, but insecure at the same time.
Oh yeah, definitely. And he has a bigger role in season 3. It's actually getting hard though with like the amount of characters there are now to give enough screen time to each character. Joey, Arthur, Edith, Paul.
Just kill him.
Keys. Hey.
Yeah, somebody's got to die.
Somebody might die. Off. Who knows?
No, actually, Robert, I don't think there's a voice that you do that I don't love. Like you, it doesn't matter if it's a little small part or Joey Everknuckle or the Mario brothers over there,
the
Italian guys
waiter.
in the restaurant. Every
back?
time you're in a scene, I like your. Why don't you do more voices?
I don't know. I'd rather not.
But you do good.
Yeah, I don't mind doing voices, but like it's got to be something that like.
It'd be a quick thing.
Yeah, like I don't want to be like a main character. I mean, Joey is gonna have more parts in season 3 and stuff, but it's like I don't know. Like, I like doing kind of just the side goofy characters. And I like doing, like, just crazy voices. I don't like doing kind of, like everybody kind of sometimes does, like, just a variation of their normal voice. But I like to, like, go really far with it.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I do with, like, Arthur. I think of, like, like, the most stereotypical fat Italian guy from Brooklyn, Yankees fan. And, like, I just sort of have to, like, conjure up what he would do or what he would think or how he would say things. And he's kind of like an imbecile, and I kind of throw my voice into the complete opposite direction.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Hey, come on, Keith.
But like, like Sheldrake, it's just like a slower, sophisticated version of my normal voice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't like for me, like that would just be like too much, like to like do that too. Like in the sense that I'd rather just go like completely crazy with it. That like I don't know. That's just like easier for me.
Sure.
I don't know. That's weird.
So we're about halfway through the episode right now, and so this is a good time to take a break and pay our sponsors and give credit to everybody who supports us through Dopple Avenue Hurt.
Yes.
But when we come back, I would like to talk about. We might get Amy in here, who voices Edith.
If she shows up.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to get a hold of her, but she said that she's down. So I want to give just an opportunity for her to get in here if she can. But I definitely want to talk about the addition of Julia W.D. Harrison for season 2. If you don't know who Julia W.D. Harrison is, she was the infamous voice of Julianne Good. Julianne Good! I do have an interview with her. She's obviously in Los Angeles. We're in Florida. But I did get a chance to speak with her earlier today because she couldn't join us in studio. So anyways, when we return from the break, we're going to get into the ladies of Dopple Avenue Hurt. Hey fans, it's Jonathan. You already know who I am. And I'm here to talk to you about Audible.com. Audible.com is a wonderful, wonderful sponsor of Dopple Avenue Hurt with over 180,000 audiobook titles for your iPod, Kindle, or MP3 player. They have such a wide selection. I use them. Kyle used them. Everybody on the cast and crew of Dopple Avenue Hurt uses them. A book that I have recently listened to was The Dead Zone by Stephen King. And if you've heard so many of like my commercials for Audible with Kyle and all that on Shark Dropper, you understand that I'm a big Stephen King fan. But The Dead Zone, I think, applies even more so today. I mean, the book was written, I think, in the 80s. But essentially what it is a man, as a young boy, he's growing up in, like, Minnesota, I believe. And he has a horrific accident where he falls on the ice, like, while playing hockey. He's, like, 13 at the time. And he hits his head so hard that he now has the ability to sort of see into the future. So the way that he does this is by shaking hands with someone. And every time he shakes hands with someone, he's able to see the impact that they're going to have on the world throughout their entire life. So he gets a hair up his ass because there's an upcoming election for president. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? We're living in those times right now. So he, as a joke almost in jest, he goes and wants to meet the presidential candidates. Well, as he's shaking hands with the person that is actually like the lead runner, for now, applying to today, that would be Donald Trump. And I'm not going to try and connect the dots for anybody, but he shakes hands with the lead candidate, and he sees like an absolute nuclear winter, nuclear holocaust. He's basically going to be, Hitler 2.0. So at that point, he's kind of, he's presented with the option, or this. He's at a crossroads in life. Now that he has the knowledge that this is going to happen, and that this guy is likely going to be elected president, what is he supposed to do with this information? And it's just an absolute thriller. The only way that if only Stephen King can present to you. It's very cool. It's a very different take on what we know of, like, action thrillers. And it requires a little suspense of disbelief, but that's okay. I mean, that's if you read Stephen King, there's always sort of that element. So I mean, what you can do if you want to listen to The Dead Zone for free, and I mean absolutely free, you can go to www.audibletrial.com/shark. Again, that's audibletrial.com/shark. And all you have to do, you get a 30-day free trial. And like I said, when I mean free, I mean, it's a free book. You don't want to listen, or you don't want to read anymore. Nobody's got time for that. You're listening to Dopple Avenue Hurt. So when you're not listening to Dopple Avenue Hurt, try The Dead Zone by Stephen King. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/shark. And have a book on us. All right, so enough of me blabbering and paying the sponsors. Let's get back to Dopple Avenue Hurt Talk. Welcome back to the Dopple Avenue Hurt Season 2 wrap-up with the cast and creators. Again, I'm your host, Jonathan Maas. With me is the writer, Robert M. Lamb. Paul Wendt, real name JJ. Jose Caraballo. And then, obviously, your star, Kyle Appleyard.
What's up?
As James Keys.
Hi, guys.
But before we go back into the discussion, I want to talk a little bit about Julia W.D. Harrison as Julianne Good. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to join us today because she has a prior engagement with Horatio Sands from SNL.
Horatio Sands!
Yeah. She's doing a live show in LA tonight, so obviously our schedules did not match up. But she was fortunate enough, or I was fortunate enough, to talk to her earlier in the day, and I got a chance to ask her some of your questions. So these are your fan-submitted, Twitter-submitted fan questions to specifically Julia W.D. Harrison. And here's that interview now. I'm sitting down with Julia W.D. Harrison, the voice of Julianne Good from Dopple Avenue Hurt. Hi, Julia, and welcome to the Season 2 wrap-up show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, we might as well just jump into it then, huh? The first question that we have submitted specifically for you was there anything special that you had to do personally to get into that sort of that role of Julianne Good?
Well, actually, sometimes if I wasn't able to get to the vocal spot I was looking for, it helps, when you're dressed up as a character or something, it actually helps you act a little bit more like them or escape into that fantasy a little bit more. So I don't know how method it is, but I've got a kimono. So yeah, just throw a kimono on, make a drink, get a little decadent, darling. So yeah, I mean, I didn't do that every time, but yeah.
Yeah, dressing up like your character. That's definitely a new one. Second question is, well, the guys here at Shark Dropper know the answer to this one, but the fans really want to know, what was the inspiration behind your character?
The inspiration behind the character, definitely based, somewhat off of Sunset Boulevard, but it's just kind of a combination of absolutely fabulous. My favorite is Patsy. She's just Patsy and Adina, darling. They're just it just everything is very dramatic, and so it's like part absolutely fabulous, a little bit of Sunset Boulevard, a little bit of Mrs. Howell from Gilligan's Island, and a slight Katharine Hepburn, if you will. But throw them all in a blender. That's
Sounds like you're making a rich bitch stew, to be honest.
That's kind of how I got there.
A lot of people are requesting a resurgence of your voice. So not as Julianne Good, but will you be returning for season 3? Possibly as a different character.
You bet. Absolutely. If there is a role, I would like to be in it. So, it's absolutely too much fun not to.
That's very good to hear. we do have a role for you in mind. Obviously, we have talked to you about that. I don't want to give anything away for the fans, but there is going to be a pretty influential character coming forth in season 3 that you, as you know, you will be voicing. But you know what? I digress. Since Dopple Avenue Herd is sort of this kind of like a 70-30 or 60-40 blend of comedy and drama. I think they just call that a dramedy. But anyways, we know as we're reading some of the lines, like you can read it on paper, but as you're saying them, performing them, depending on how much, like oomph you give behind a line, you find yourself cracking up halfway through the line and having to redo certain things over and over and over again because you can't help but laugh. What were some of the hardest parts for you to get through without laughing on microphone?
That is a difficult one because sometimes to get an honest reaction, I wouldn't even read through the whole script sometimes. And before I started, I would do one read not knowing anything but the line before it. So what's an honest reaction you might have? And I had the hardest time getting through the time increments of, what was it, the mid-90s, 2000s type songs where it's the bare naked ladies. It will be 1 week, I absolutely kept losing it. So that was a lot of fun to try and read. But actually, I laugh more reading other people's lines for some reason because I can hear their voices in my head. And, knowing that Amy Lorraine is doing Edith, I can hear it when I read it. Same thing with, Kyle doing Keys. Like, I can hear his voice. And so there are just times where I'm going, oh, jeez. It's definitely a pleasure.
I know. We actually had I bring JJ in to record for Paul here in my personal studio, not at Shark Dropper Studios, and he gets an honest reaction because he doesn't read the scripts before he comes in. He just says the lines as like he's reading them for the first time, and over half the time it takes probably 4 or 5 takes to get through some of his lines before we actually get a honest performance where he's not giggling or laughing or I don't know. It's just this script, the writing in Dopple Avenue Herd has a tendency to do that to all of us. So I'm glad you're not an exception. So this question's not so much for Julia W.D. Harrison. It's more for Julianne Good, if I may. It's very evident throughout the season 2 that Julianne Good is not a fan of Star Wars Episode 1. So I have to beg the question, what is Julianne Good's favorite Star Wars movie?
So, what is Julianne's favorite Star Wars movies? Since I obviously hate the first one so much. Let's see. I think Julianne would probably be a big fan of The Force Awakens, and I will say it for this reason. As someone who was trying to get back into the spotlight, I think that she would be very impressed with a powerful woman, like Carrie Fisher being back in a very iconic role and, being this strong woman, with another strong character coming out of her, coming into her debut. So it was kind of like a cyclical, Rey is kind of coming up as this very strong warrior, Jedi type, and I think she could be on board. I'd like to think so.
Yeah, that's good enough for everybody. I don't see a problem with that answer. Julia, do you actually love James Keyes in real life, or is it just your character?
I can only assume.
Do I love James in real life? Well, darling, it was just a role. Don't be so ridiculous. I couldn't absolutely love him. I do care for him a great deal, though, sweetie. But, darling, such is the life of a movie star. Our romances are fleeting on set. But in real life, we're the best of friends, you see. We're definitely not lovers. We save the chemistry for on-screen.
Oh, I didn't know, Julian. I swear, I'm a middleman. I'm just catapulting questions at you that I get. Honestly, that's all the questions we got for you, Julia. Thank you very much for joining us. There is this other question. I'll leave it up to you if you want to answer it. But first, tell everybody where they can find you. And then if you feel inclined enough, there is a fan on Twitter. He will remain anonymous at this point. But he asks if Julianne Good will marry him.
I have links to everything, including other Shark Dropper projects, The Hooray Show, other podcast stuff, Nighttime Foam Corner. All that stuff can be found on at Julia W.D. Harrison on Twitter, and I'm at Julia W.D. Harrison on Facebook, Instagram, and I hope that you will hear a whole different side of me.
And to the gentleman who asked if he could marry me, of course, darling. Make sure that we don't need a prenup. That sounds silly. Oh, because you'll just want to give me everything. What's a woman to do these days? Men getting so attached and all.
Well, there you go. Perfect, Julia. Thank you very much for joining us again. I'm glad I got the opportunity to at least talk to you for a little bit. Sorry you can't be here in Florida with us, or vice versa. Sorry you can't be in LA with you. But I know you have a show tonight, and good luck. I know it's going to go fine. And everybody, please, please, please go out and support Julia W.D. Harrison. She's an up-and-coming podcaster that deserves your support. Obviously, she wowed you with Julianne Good. And I promise you she's going to wow you again in season 3 as someone else. So there you go. And with that said, back to the show.